I am not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in UK test, part 328. Criminal courts, or rather magistrates and justice of the peace courts, while doing... No, maybe it's also criminal. No, it's magistrates and justice of the peace courts, while doing standing leg gymnastics. And if you participate in the standing leg gymnastics, that is at your own risk. So we're starting directly with the standing leg gymnastics. We're doing the moderator. The feet are standing together, and we don't have to be completely together. We're rolling in front onto the further part of the foot, and then back to the heel. So just go in front and back with weight. It's a very simple, easy leg gymnastics. So the criminal courts. There are some differences between the court systems in England and Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. So the courts are not completely the same in England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. So now in this video is about the magistrates and justice of the peace courts. In England, Wales and Northern Ireland, most minor criminal cases are dealt with in the magistrates court. In Scotland, minor criminal offences go to a justice of the peace court. So in England, Wales and Northern Ireland, where the smaller criminal cases are going to the magistrates court. And in Scotland, the minor criminal offences go to the justice of the peace court. We understand it. So can we actually remember it? Let's go later back, and when we know what we have, and then try to remember it. Magistrates and justices of the peace, JPs, are members of a local community. The next exercise, we're having one leg now in front. We have a balance back, and we're going back with weight. We're bringing the toes up of the forward leg, and when we're going back, and we're lifting the heel up of the leg behind, of the foot behind. Again in front, the toes up back, and now in front, and the heel up of the back. Magistrates and justices of the peace, JPs, are members of a local community. In England, Wales and Scotland, they usually work unpaid and do not need legal qualifications. They receive training to do the job and are supported by a legal advisor. Magistrates decide the verdict in each case. Now, I don't know what the word verdict means. In each case that comes before them, and if a person is found guilty, the sentence that they are given. In Northern Ireland, cases are heard by a district judge or deputy district judge who is legally qualified and paid. That's pretty confusing. We're changing the leg, and we're doing the same. We're going in front, the back leg comes with the heel up, we're going back, the front leg comes with the toes up. So there are the JPs, the magistrates and justice of the peace. And they are members of the local community. And in England, Wales and Scotland, they usually work unpaid and do not need legal qualifications, but they receive training and are supported by a legal advisor. And these magistrates decide the verdict. Now, I don't know what the verdict is, and I'm going to look it up. That is essential. So what the verdict is. In each case, it comes before them, and they are deciding if a person is guilty, and also the sentence, so what penalty they are given. And in Northern Ireland, cases are heard by a district judge or deputy district judge who is legally qualified and paid. So in England, Wales and Scotland, there are magistrates and justices of peace, people of a local community who get training and a legal advisor. And they decide the verdict, if a person is guilty, and the penalty. And in Northern Ireland, there are district judge or deputy district judges. And they are qualified and paid. The next exercise. The legs to the outside, the toes up, pointing to the outside. It's this far. We're on shoulder forward apart. And we're going to one side and to the other side. We're always lifting the heel off the ground. So in England, Wales and Northern Ireland. England, Wales and Northern Ireland. Now Scotland is excluded. There are the magistrates of court for minor offences, and in Scotland it is the justice of the peace court. Okay, that's the first thing we should know, these two things. Now the next thing is that the magistrates and justice of the peace. Why are we then just JPs and not MGPs? Magistrates and justice of the peace are the people from the local community who are unqualified, but they receive training. Or they do not need legal qualifications. They are unqualified, but they receive training and are supported by legal advisors. And they decide then the verdict, and if the person is guilty, and what sentence or what penalty they get. In Northern Ireland, that all is done by the district judge or the deputy district judge. That's it. That was magistrates and justice of the peace courts. The next thing will be crown courts and sheriff courts. If you hear for the crown courts and sheriff courts, and you can go directly to the next part. Now we're not going to do anything new. What we want to do is we want to look what the civil services should have for a character as core values. Now these are honesty, integrity, impartiality, neutrality, and objectivity. Now we have here, and dedication and commitment to their core values and reserves. Next exercise, we're having one leg in front, and now we're going in front, and we can lift the back leg completely off the ground, and again back. So we're going just onto the front leg, and then a bit back, and in front, and back. So we're just bringing weight on the forward leg, and we're leaning a bit back, but just only a little, as if we're falling a bit down. So back, standing a bit, up and in front. Okay, we know the first 6 countries of the Commonwealth listed here. These are Antigua and Barbuda, Australia and Bahamas, Bangladesh, Barbados and Belize. And the next 3 are Botswana, Brunei Darussalam and Cameroon. Botswana, Brunei Darussalam and Cameroon. Botswana, Brunei Darussalam, Cameroon. You can do the exercises also shorter. Botswana, Brunei Darussalam, Cameroon. Botswana, Brunei Darussalam and Cameroon. We're changing the leg, the other leg's in front, and we're going in front, onto that leg, and a bit back. So the 9 are Antigua and Barbuda, Australia and the Bahamas, Bangladesh, Barbuda and Belize, and then Cameroon. So one more would be Cameroon, Brunei, Darussalam, and Botswana. Okay, Botswana. Now, what are we going to do now? We can do now the artists, maybe. But let's look if we had get something else. Yes, let's try to remember it somehow. So the Giant's Causeway is in Northern Ireland, northeast of Northern Ireland. And Loch Lomond is in West Scotland, so that's not that hard. West Scotland. And Snowdonia, north of Wales. That's also not hard. We had found them too on the map. Now, where's Lake District? They never say. So the only one complex one is, which we haven't found on the map, is the Giant's Causeway. All the other one we know. So Big Ben is in London, more or less in the southeast of England. And the London Eye and Big Ben are in southeast England, in London, also the Tower of London. In West Scotland, there's Loch Lomond and Trossachs National Park. Edinburgh Castle is in East Scotland. And in northern Wales, there is Snowdonia, Snowdon Mountain. And yes, so the Giant's Causeway is the only one left, and that is in the northeast of Ireland, of Northern Ireland. Okay, that's pretty simple. And I think we're having one exercise more. Well, the last one. So having the feet together, and we're leaning now in front, as far as we can comfortably go. And then we're going back again. So in front, as far as we can go, and then back. The authors, I think we're pretty good with the authors. The artists are more problem. We never learned them together. There's oftentimes not much written. We know in total of 10 artists, one piece of work. So how should we learn it all together? We know of 10 artists, just the one single work was named of so many artists. So there's nothing to connect with them. Not even a name of a work. And they basically did all the same. They were basically all landscape painters. And I think oftentimes the word just changing, it's just linguistically different, but not an informational. Most of the times. I don't know what we do with it. Do we know the musicians? That's a good thing to do now. The musicians. We're doing the last exercise. Calf phrases in different levels. So, something similar as we just did. You can come a bit up onto the corner part of the foot. You can come a little bit higher up, or completely up onto the tops. If you feel so free, you can come up just on the tops. So we had here Henry Purcell. He was the organist of Westminster Abbey, and he wrote church music, but also operas and other stuff. And no other piece named. No piece at all named. Just that he was and is influential. He developed a distinct British style of classical music. When we had George Frederick Handel, he composed water music for George I, and for George II he composed music for the Royal Fireworks. And who did the Easter Oratorio? It was Handel. It is Handel's Easter Oratorio. So Messiah is by George Frederick Handel. And when we're having Gustav Holst, he did did he have a name? He did music for the planets. I think it's just called the planets. It's the planets. And the music which he had done for Jupiter is used for I Vote to Be My Country. And when we had someone reading marches, Edward Elgar, he made Pomp and Circumstance marches, march number 1. Hope to my country. Land of Hope and Glory. And last time, more or less a calf. Raise and now. Do we walk it out or do we make a bit stretching? Let's make a bit stretching. So place the forearm, place the back leg onto the ground, with the heel onto the ground, and lean a bit in front. When we had episode yes, the Land of Hope and Glory, Ralph Vaughan Williams, nothing named, and then we had Sir Francis. Sir William Wharton, and he did Belshazzar, and the other leg, heel to the ground, and lean a bit in before. And he did the Saint and the March for George VI and Queen Elizabeth II. Then we had Benjamin Britten. He wrote A Young Person's Introduction to Orchestra Music, A Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra, and Peter Grimm's Billy Budd to operas. And he founded the Edinburgh Festival in Suffolk. And that's it, you can open out a little bit. By Shiki. That is so done with a standing gymnastic leg training. So Vaishiki, that is celebrated. We had a date, 14th April. I did not remember the date. 14th April, Vaishiki, a festival celebrated by Sheiks to celebrate the founding of the Sikh community, the culture. So Vaishiki celebrated 14th April with parades, dancing and singing. Vaishiki, 14th April. Thank you very much and until next time.